Here from virtual South Florida, Santos Guilherme will bring the field off the final corner. We're green flag racing for the first time in season 14. And through a clean lap one already, the fight for the lead ignited. Clenworth pointing his nose to the high side, back to turn one. Cressy and Guilherme try to fight for third.
Very clean first lap there. Good start from everyone. Clean and green so far. 37 IndyCars around a track. That's something you don't see that often. And good mid-pack battle here. Everyone's just trying to find the line that they want to run. It's a lot of draft here. You can see just the amount of effect the slipstream has here. Brewer's going to go to the outside, try and roll the top line to get the momentum. Altena going to slide right up and block him from making that move.
And Altena just trying to play defense. He'll now peek to the inside, nearly 3 abreast in turn 3. Not going to be hard at all to make that outside charge. Matt Brewer, what a move to 7th down the back straightaway.
It is indeed all about the throttle and the gears and pretty much everything. That weight jacker is going to be very important throughout the rest of the races. Guilherme just absolutely cuts Brewer off there, but Brewer has been absolutely charging through the field right now.
Only 25 laps in the book, so you'd imagine with so much more of this race remaining, how the strategy could play into Brewer's hands, and he goes right back to the very outside of the racetrack. That's been his bread and butter all night long, and Guilherme seems to be falling through the cracks. First yellow out, we had the battle for the inside spot. It is Matthias Strauss. He was just inside the top 15.
Getting a bit close there to the inside of one of the VOR cars. Just washed up, boom. And once you lose that rear end, it's pretty much gone.
And remember, we saw the issue with Strauss. Bit more contact. Santos near the wall. And just about pancake the outside barrier. Again, no fast repairs here in this VOR IndyCar series. Kyle Clenworth in control. He'll be waving for the green flag. Here comes the field. Spread across down the front straightaway. And nearly 3 wide. It's going to be now 4 wide in the back of the field at turn 1. As Cressy made the dive under Donskoy. That was going to be for second. Charging on Clenworth down off turn 2. And it's middle 3 wide with that bright blue number 44 car that finds his way in trouble. He was just about in the middle of that near 4 wide situation entering the first corner. They settled it out to just 3.
Even worse than that, both of those cars, that's Gary Lovren on the inside and Galage on the outside, they're teammates. So that's unfortunate for them.
This time field single file, but from the inside lane, Clenworth is going to try to play defense preemptively, and here comes the field outside looking for the 3 abreast. Back to turn 1 on the restart. Battle already inside the top group and already for second place. Here comes Santos. Look behind. Cressy will play the defense. Switch over down off turn 4. Santos look for second. Huge crash off the back straightaway. And that was turn 4. Pim Van Gastel stranded off the final corner.
Pim Van Gastel just going to get a little bit, bit of a net coat there and into the wall. And around he goes in turn 3.
There goes the field already spreading near the high side, but no challenge to the race leader and Kyle Clenworth. Cressy now not under fire from Endo Santos. And Vitor Guilherme looking for 4th place. Matt Brewer right behind as they chase off turn 2.
3 wide. Look at Brewer rolling around the... Oh!
And that's Santos in trouble. Another car involved as they were off of turn number 3. And it's the biggest crash, a parking lot off the final corner. And it started with the battle inside the top 3. And those are several names out. Donskoy, Malkrek, and the list continues. Heavy carnage on lap 42. And what a heartbreaker for Edson Santos. He was just inside the top 3, battling for seconds. It's pressing down the inside. It's registered contact from the sim, but it is more than enough to send Santos up near the outside wall. Christian Malkrek was the first one to hit the spinning Santos. And then in reaction, Daniel, everybody, it seems like, just got involved. And now Brewer goes to the outside of Clenworth. He'll try and charge in 3 and 4, and he just cannot make use of the progressive banking up top. Clenworth in the lead. Cleaner restart back to turn 1. Clenworth in control. And it's a 2-car crash. Nunez, Fiolas involved off of turn 2. And the slight touch sends Fiolas spinning into Nunez. And there's really nowhere to go. They have a straight trajectory towards the inside wall. Here's the onboard look from Nunez.
Yeah, just getting hooked there and, well, bang, directly into the wall.
And now Brewer once more. Fight to the outside, down the back straightaway. Help from F-Tink as they enter turn 3. F-Tink wants a little more as well, but he can't run up the hill with the car to the inside. Brewer falls back. Clenworth plays the defense off turn 4. So either it's a tight or loose condition that you'll get. How about 3 wide in the middle of this group? Seeger's trying to play defense. There's McKinney on the high side. Saucier making the move. Switch over back to turn 1. Still 3 wide.
This is the tight close quarters racing, getting real close, and around he goes. Is he going to save it? No! Directly into the outside wall. Hard hit.
Huge crash, and the yellow comes out, and more cars in it. Several others pile into the spinning car of McKinney, and it's as soon as they touch right there. McKinney nearly saves it on the banking. Too much wheel input. Hard hit to the outside wall. And then right in the wrecking ball, Daniel, everyone else just piles in. And here's Clenworth on the pit road. Big time decision is going to put the dominant driver of the day back in 7th place. Dovchenko will take the race lead. So we'll keep an eye on those who pitted from 7th on back. A lot of them have come in for either fuel only, maybe 2 tires. Green flag waves. Lap 61. Dovchenko in the lead. Altena under fire. Polak in for 3rd. Here comes Altena through the half groove up, looking for the race lead. And how does Clenworth respond? Remember, he restarted in 7th. How much work will he have to put in to try and get back to the race lead? Here comes Altena. Fight to the bottom shelf in turn 1. He'll have a shot at Dovchenko down the white line. They're 3 wide in the back half of the top 5. Altena to the lead. Dovchenko fighting hard off of turn 2. Onboard look with Clenworth. And again, we mentioned at the top group just how hard it is to make position. How about the power move by Clenworth? Minuscule ranges in momentum. And Katie Polak just had to play the defense, but she didn't have enough to fend off Clenworth. Altena now in a side-by-side effort with Seegers. Here comes Clenworth, down to the bottom for 1, down to the bottom for 2. He's got the 2 for 1 in turn 3 up to 2nd place. Clenworth with way fresher tires and a way better race car for now. Wash up from Dovchenko leaves Clenworth with space up front and back to the race lead. Kyle Clenworth dominant in his car through the campaign. The 86 car, Marcos Tissera, as he continues to mount the pressure. This time on Rotor and F-Team, that's going to be for 2nd. And again, big change this will be in the swing for momentum, knowing that they will have to hit pit road soon. Tissera down low has the better handling car. He'll take over P2. And then right about here, you got to hop on the brakes and make sure you make pit speed limits. Oh, Daniel, he had limited to no control of the race car right at that last second, but he did make it on pit road speed limit, so no black flag for Brewer. He keeps on going. On board with Clenworth as he'll chase to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. Look at how much speed he's got at the exit of the 2nd corner. Down the back straightaway. He'll have a look down low on Dovchenko. Battle for the lead. Settled quickly in turn 3. Clenworth stays down there and he will take the top spot at lap 119. It's just all about where you are and where you're going to try to gain when it matters the most. As Brian Saucier dives to the bottom. Big block by Jordan Hale for 6th place.
That was a massive block, but it seemed like it worked there. So, see, big dive there. Saucier going back at him. He's going to try again on the inside. Going to touch the apron, get a bit loose there, and, well, lose all of that momentum he gained. This has been real good racing so far. Well, except for the lead, which has been, getting a bit loose there. And that's the swing you wanted, down to the inside. He's going to make the move here to turn 1.
Hale bobbles, Bryce takes advantage, so Saucier moves up to 6, and there is a black flag for Jordan Hale. And he'll come down to the access lane. F-Tink will take away the spot in turn, and now it's going to get worse. Spinning down to the access lane, he saves it, but that may be race ruin just past halfway for Jordan Hale. So there was a touch of the outside wall.
It is so easy to rack up incident points at a chaotic race such as this, that just minor scrapes. And, well, you've hit the instant limit and your race is ruined. Clenworth trying to pull that gap. Dovchenko also peeling down pit road this time by. So it seems like 50 laps is the amount. The field is spread out enough to where I think it'll probably go green to the end, although I'm a commentator, so I probably just curse the field.
Here's Gary Lovren. There's trouble there on the right front. That suspension is broken. The nose cone is gone. And Lovren, who was just sustaining in this race.
Yep, and again, VOR teammates getting into each other. That seems to be a theme in this race. That's going to be a long talk in the hauler in the virtual hauler at the end of this race, considering how both sets of the 4 VOR cars have got into each other.
And Julian Altena goes hard into the inside wall. He comes back up the racetrack. That will cause the yellow. Yeah, it's not moving. It's not moving. That's the hardware that disconnects. That's the sim that crashes. And he's just a passenger. Clenworth with a good start back to turn 1.
There goes Clenworth. He's got the clean air. He's got the gap, and he's gone.
And that's the fight for the wave around right behind the race leader. Matt Brewer in 5th a lap down. Szabolcs Murani in the 88 is 6th a lap down. So if you get that forward spot, a yellow comes out, you could easily put yourself back on the lead lap when the pace car comes back around.
As the sun goes down, the field starts...
Whoa, contact, middle 3 wide. Fine margins on the straightaway. Dovchenko nearly ping-ponged off the 2 cars, and we're going to stay green. That was nearly disastrous. That orange car of F-Tink run off of turn 4. Car down low. There's contact on either side. Touching the walls. Dovchenko breaks free to 3rd place, and he still couldn't even get past F-Tink. That was close. It's just a matter of when does he reach the pit lane. The answer is going to be right now. In turn 3, he'll go down to the access lane, and that Pepsi IR18 will find its way to a stop. Try to avoid a pit road speeding penalty. Hard on the brakes, conservative entry, and that's all you need at this juncture of the race. To 50 laps to go. How long does Teixeira go on this set of Firestone Firehawks? He went longer the last time around, and it didn't really work. Clenworth in and out on an 8-second flat pit stop. 9.3 for Roden F-Tink and the rookie driver, who's going to get a great result regardless as long as this race stays the way it is on strategy. Here are a couple of more coming in. That's Murani on pit road. It looks like Bryce Saucier has entered pit road. He's out on the back straightaway, and several others are in. Solage is in. Matt Brewer is in and out. Anthony Heitzma is still needing to come down pit road from 5th. And there's the rest of the pack as they settle in this final pit stop with 40 laps to go.
He's there, and he's going to try and make that move. It's going to be tough. Here he goes. Dive to the bottom. And there he goes. He's into the position. And I think that's all she wrote, and he's going to run away. Although Dovchenko seems to stay there, but the tire difference is so much at this point in the race that it's probably going to be real hard for Dovchenko to just stay in there. And yep, he's starting to fall back now.
I don't know if the 86 car has enough punch left to get to Dovchenko and have it be a proper fight.
With the fact that these two are fighting hammer and tongs and swapping positions at every corner, I just don't think he's going to be able to get by these two until this fight is settled, and I don't think it will be settled to the very end.
Sitting side by side off the corner, you're not clearing them easily. That is, in turn, what's going to lose you more time on a bottom lane that has shaved off a lot of the consistency. There's a car on the outside wall. That is Szabolcs Murani, who is trapped up there. He may come to a stop. And will that bring a pivotal yellow flag? Inside 14 to go. He is still rolling. And Daniel, is that another hardware issue? And there's the yellow flag. Daniel, I think we might have just had another hardware issue. This car just straight lines to the wall. Take a look.
Yep, that's a hardware failure right there. That is so odd. We've had 3 of them in one race, which I think that might be a record for Green Flag TV.
And I think Teixeira, Daniel, may have just gotten Dovchenko. Fight off the lane, and Teixeira's got it. 10 laps to go. Clenworth in control. Does he hold on from a chaotic race? Green flag in the air.
4 wide.
And that's in the middle where Dovchenko is. Matt Brewer has caught his lap back, and so has Bryce Saucier. So it is a full-on free-for-all inside the top 5. Saucier down the bottom, shut down by Teixeira. Here comes Dovchenko. Fight up top. 9 laps to go for Clenworth. Some drivers have preferred trying to make passes up top. Some have attempted the bottom despite how difficult it has been. And it's going to be the lane of choice for Dovchenko. Teixeira forced out of the way from just a tight race car. And Dovchenko takes away 3rd. White flag in the air from Homestead, Miami. And Kyle Clenworth, who found that late yellow giving him some pressure, but instead has risen up to the challenge, will stay ahead by 0.6 of a second, and 2 more corners left to finalize his first win in the VOR IndyCar Series. The most dominant driver of the night will stand tall in South Florida. Checkered flag. Kyle Clenworth comes away with his first career VOR IndyCar Series win. So Clenworth continues to celebrate here from Homestead, Miami. Let's see if we can get a look at our full unofficial results after the 600 kilometers here from virtual South Florida. Kyle Clenworth, the winner. Roden F. Tink survives for second. Fyodor Dovchenko brings his number 69 car to third. So that'll do it for our coverage of race number 1 in this VOR IndyCar series for season 14 from Homestead. On behalf of all of the great people, Julian Altena and the entire hardworking crew at the VOR IndyCar series that makes the campaign go round, and for all the wonderful people at Green Flag TV, for Nolan Rempel, and of course for our crew on tonight's broadcast, Howie Burrows, our great producer, and my colleague in the booth tonight, Daniel Brouchard. I am Kenneth Bueno saying so long from Florida, and a huge congratulations to Kyle Clenworth on his first career VOR IndyCar series win.